How are you today?
Not good.
Are you cold?
No, I'm just, you know, I don't feel comfortable.
Are you nervous?
I feel threatened.
Hello everyone, it's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to talk about the YNW Melly case, particularly the part where the prosecution was questioning Felecia Holmes, who is the mother of Mariah Hamilton, who was the girlfriend, or who probably still is the girlfriend, I'm not sure, of Jamell Demons at the time when this whole incident happened. So they were questioning the mother, and as you heard, she said she felt threatened. She felt threatened because she was actually in the Virgin Islands, so I think they extradited her from there. She supposedly has an ankle monitor. She was supposed to be subpoenaed. However, she said that she was not served to come and testify there. That was on Thursday that just passed, because they didn't convene yesterday, which was Friday. So this was something else. It was a lot of drama. And in my opinion, I don't think the prosecution really have a case. They have a lot of circumstantial evidence. So at this point, they really need to find I don't believe they have the weapon. So they really need to find a weapon, or they need to have a credible witness that heard or was there. But the only people that were there were Jamell Demons, Anthony Williams, Christopher Thomas, and Cortland Henry. And maybe, who knows, whoever people that allegedly did this shooting. So obviously there was no ill will towards Jamell from Felecia, the witness, because when the prosecution asked her to point out Jamell, she looked at him and smiled.
You have the opportunity to meet Mr. Demons.
Yes, I did.
What did you refer to him as?
I call him Jamell Melly.
You see him here in the courtroom?
Yes, I do.
Where is he?
He's right here.
And what's he wearing?
So you see that big smile that she gave him. She looked in his direction and she gave him a big smile. Well, she smiled over there, let's say that. So there's no ill will, even though the prosecution did present some evidence that seemed to be her. I don't know if it was an Instagram story or if it was a DM or whatever, or she commented, but it was a, you can't post and delete stuff. So they were able to retrieve these back and forth with whoever was running this YNW shade room. And this is what was posted. This is what she allegedly say. So you can pause it if you want to read it. So before the prosecution presented these back and forth messages, she had confirmed that Bling Queen 258 was her Instagram's name or username or handle. So if you read the conversation, it seems that she was very frustrated. If this is her who wrote it, because we don't know. She was frustrated the fact that, she's, first of all, she's in all this, trouble, in a sense that she is supposed to be a witness in this case. And she's not getting any help. She had to quit her job, a job that she was making a lot of money from, and then nobody's helping her. So she had said, she has something for them. They're going to call her Miss Snitch B and stuff like this. This is all alleged, because we are not sure if this is her. We're not sure. But, from her looking over there, it seems that the attitude has changed. If this is actually her conversation and to now, because that was in 2022, in 2023, it seems that, everything is fine and dandy. So this caused the prosecution to And not only this, but a lot of questions that the prosecution was asking her, she was like, I don't remember, I don't recall, and stuff like that. She was like, because remember, the police took her statement. The police took her statement, and then with the stuff that was in her statement, she was like, I don't remember. She didn't remember her daughter's number. She didn't remember Jamell Demons' number, which is not uncommon because not a lot of people remember people's number unless you take the time to remember, because we usually just call the person. We are not actually dialing the number anymore. We just click on the name and then we call the person. So that's really not uncommon. But then, of course, the prosecution went and showed her, yes, you kind of did remember their number. Now you're saying you don't remember. So with all this back and forth and her not remembering a lot of things that she should have remembered, that's because she was saying that was 5 years ago. She went through a lot of trauma. Her husband had went to jail. She lost her father. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So a lot of things trauma do tend to play on your memory, but not all the way. So the prosecution declared her a hostile witness.
You're asking me to declare her a hostile witness. It appears to me she is. I don't know what's your position on it. She's at.
So many people were upset and saying that the prosecution is harassing the lady, why she's acting like this. And some people did understand what was going on. So we're going to look this up. When a witness is declared hostile, it means that the witness is not testifying in a manner expected or desired by the party who called them to testify. Remember, the prosecution called her to testify. Whether they did it nicely or not, they still called her to testify. Typically, a witness is called by one side or the other in a legal proceeding to provide relevant information or evidence that supports their case. When a witness is declared hostile, it usually occurs during cross-examination, where the opposing party's attorney asks questions of the witness. So this is really not cross-examination because the prosecution called her. They were questioning her and she was not answering the way they expected. If the witness is uncooperative, and she was being uncooperative because she couldn't remember nothing, stuff like that, she's being evasive. Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, I might have said that. I don't know. Or provides answers that are contrary to the interest of the party who called them, the attorney may request the court to declare the witness as hostile. And you heard the judge. It seems that she is hostile. So once the witness is declared hostile, it allows the attorney who called the witness, which was the prosecution, to take a more aggressive approach during questioning. The attorney can ask leading questions that get you caught up, challenge the witness credibility, and confront the witness with prior inconsistent statements or evidence that contradicts their testimony. The declaration of hostility is a legal strategy employed to undermine the witness's testimony and cast doubt on their credibility. It provides the attorney with more flexibility to challenge the witness and present their case more effectively. However, it's important to note that declaring a witness hostile does not automatically discredit their entire testimony. The judge or jury will still assess the overall evidence and determine the weight to be given to the witness's statement. So that's why the prosecution was asking certain questions that was going to probably lead her to be hostile. And when she declared her hostile, she took, as you saw, the most aggressive approach. That's why the defense kept on saying objection, objection, and the judge had to say sustain because she was already declared hostile. So that's what was happening in that part. So before I start and give my commentary on this case, the female lawyer of Jamell Demons, she really has no courtroom etiquette. She's always kikiing, on the camera. Like, it's like her, and it's not like she has, like, this is a client lawyer relationship. It's like that's her homeboy and she's his home girl. It's ridiculous. I had to say that because that was ridiculous. Always kiki. But anyways, my whole issue with this case so far is that Jamell Demons got people caught up in this mess that shouldn't have even been caught up. First of all, he got Fred O'Bang caught up. He called Fred O'Bang to give him a ride. And then, that was his girlfriend. Mariah was his girlfriend at the time. So, of course, he's going to tell her, what happened. And then the mother happened to be awake at the time, and she probably saw something. However, the daughter was acting in a manner that alarmed her mother, Felicia. So she was aware that something was going on. She may have not known the whole story, but she knows something happened that was not good. And then this is the thing, when we say we care about people in our lives, whether family members, romantic partners, when you get caught up in cases like this, whether it's a murder case, robbery, whatever it may be, any statement that you give to the police, whether you say, okay, yeah, we was in a car and stuff like that, and then this happened, and then I went home and I called this person, or this person came and checked upon me. Depending on whoever the detective is and the police, they are going to question those people. They're going to question those people. They're going to take their statements because you mentioned their name, right? And then if this thing is credible, it goes to trial, there is a possibility that the people that you mentioned to the police, the prosecution or whoever may call them as witnesses. And then you end up with stuff like that. Is the person is not being forthcoming because if you listen to the testimony, she was not being forthcoming. She was not. So when you find yourself not being forthcoming, you endanger yourself. You could lose your job. You could go to jail. You get, just like she may be in danger of being charged with perjury. Come on. That's why we have to think. If you got caught up in some type of mess, whether you are innocent or not, why you need to mention people's name? Especially if you know a lot of people are not well versed in the legal system. Because this lady she was a nurse. She had to quit her job. I'm not sure if she could even get her job back. And then she was living in Florida, but they got her from the Virgin Islands. So I'm not sure she's still practicing nursing. And then even if she was, how that questioning went, if she has a job, she may not have a job anymore. So we have to be careful putting the people that we say we love and care about in certain situations like this. And like I said before, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence in this case. They really, really don't have a case, so they really trying to look for somebody to be a witness or maybe find a gun. They probably not going to find it at all. But there really is not a case. But the prosecution probably feels that some people know more than they are trying to portray that they don't. And I find another thing that I find that does not make sense in this case, because all four of them was in this SUV, Jeep, whatever they call it. And you had Cortland, who was driving. You have Jamell, who was in the back of the driver in the passenger seat, and that was on the left. And you have, I think, Anthony Williams, and the other defendants. One was in because I don't remember exactly, but I know the other defendants, one was in the front and the other was in the back with Jamell. So if this was supposedly a drive-by, only these two young men got shot up. Nothing happened to Cortland, even though he say he's trying to drive and plus try not to get hurt, and nothing happened to Jamell in the back. So only Anthony and Christopher ended up getting all shot up. Nothing happened to them. that really doesn't make. Sometimes it happens. But sometimes, usually, somebody's grazed or something like that. Some people get, because of the glass shattering, some people get hurt from the glass, but nothing happened to these young men. When you look at what happened to, let's take for example, young and Ace, Kenyatta Bullard, when he was in an incident, in a drive-by with his brother and his two friends, and they were in like a similar thing, all four of them in a car, and they were in a car, I believe, and all of them got shot up, all of them. Only young and Ace was the only one survivor, lone survivor, and I believe he only survived because his girlfriend. He called his girlfriend. He told her what happened, and she came right in time, and she was able to. I think she drove him, or was able to call the ambulance, because he said people were coming up. They saw that they were shot up, and people were just filming them. This world is weird. A lot of people in this world is devoid of human affection. He said people were not helping him. It was the girlfriend that came through and risked her life, because those people could have ride around the block and came back. And that's how this young man was saved. And plus, God had a purpose and plan for him. But everyone in that car got shot. So it's very weird that nobody. It's not impossible, but it kind of doesn't make sense. Now, a theory could be that, this young man, of course, Melly, they didn't find any gunshot residue on his hand at the time, because I don't know exactly when the police encountered him, but they say it's alleged that on Cortland's Henry hand, who was the driver, he had gunshot residue on his hand. So you never know. Maybe a theory could be that they paid somebody to do this, and it may have not been Jamell Demons' plan, because there's a lot of stories going. Whenever people get hurt, especially in situations like that, it's a lot of stories being planted. First, they had a fight. Sack chaser, that's Anthony Williams, had a fight with Jamell for $500,000, and then he punched him in the mouth. And then another story is that these are just stories, because we don't know how true these are. Anthony slept with Mariah, the girlfriend, so we don't know. But something happened between them, because there's a video of the mom, addressing Sack Chaser. She's addressing Sack Chaser, and so something happened between them. So it might not have even been his idea, but maybe somebody, who saw how maybe Anthony or Juvie, one of them turned against him and say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to plan this. This is all speculation, by the way. We're going to plan it like this. And then you have, because this story is really weird. And you pay somebody or whatever, come up to the car, and actually 2 people, 3 people, and actually they step out, and then you unload, you shoot them 2 up because they were the problems. Well, even if Sack Chaser was if they were after him, but maybe Juvie didn't want to go along, and so they decided to take out Juvie too. And then they got back in the car because there were bullets outside, and it seems that there was a gun being fired from the inside, and there was gunshot residue on Bortland's, YNW Bortland, who was Cortland, hand. So maybe to cover it up, he had him shoot on the inside like he was shooting after the people that were shooting after him. But Melly couldn't get involved in something like this, because Melly is their golden ticket. He's their golden ticket. He's already, gaining momentum and fame. They don't want Melly to get caught up in this. So all we could do is speculate, because at the end of the day, the only people that really know what happened in that car is Cortland Henry Jamell Demons, Anthony Williams, and Christopher Thomas. And 2 out of those 4 people are no longer here. We may never know what happened. But at the end of the day, if you are called as a witness in a case for a family member or a friend or whoever it may be, as long as you're being forthcoming and you know you're telling the truth, you shouldn't have anything to worry about being in contempt of court or being charged with perjury, because you're telling the truth. But if you cannot be forthcoming for a particular reason, then you should, whatever. I don't know. I can't give you any advice. I'm not a lawyer. So that's all I had to say in this situation. I think they will be back in court on Thursday. That's what I heard the judge say. I'm not sure, but it's going to be sometime next week. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video.